Wagwan. Yes, welcome to an episode of Traps Talks. Yeah, today I'm on my own, repping the Dutch kit, because we've got the Dutch boys coming in today. We've got Wout Weghorst, we've got the Dutch master, Ten Hag, we've got Van der Beek. He's a work in progress. Don't worry about him. Anyways, I'm just here to talk about all things United and just have my say on a few things that I've seen, because I've had a lot of whispering going on. I mean, we was Banter FC start of the season. Lost our first two games. Brighton at home, ain't lost a home game since. Now people are actually sitting up and starting to realise that this team, last season there was a lot more to the story. The team underperformed, uproar in the dressing room. But the boys were massively underachieving. There's a lot of quality and there's a lot of world-class quality been added to the squad this season, and yeah, the boys are doing well. I mean, I spoke about from way back when we was losing games and it wasn't that great, and I said I'm not writing this season off. Everyone say, talking about Ten Hag, give Ten Hag time. Did Ten Hag ask you for time? Did he say give me some time? Did he do an open letter to the fans and say I need some time? I don't think so. He just got in, got who he needed to get out, I'm mentioning no names, sorted out the squad, got players in. People are saying, it was even the Casemiro situation, people have to eat their words on that one, because he's been outstanding. He's got Rashford back to his best, playing well. Martial just needs to add a few goals, but he's playing decent football. He's now introducing the likes of Pellistri. These are not, bearing in mind, these are not his signings, like Pellistri and obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka and whatnot. But he's got them all playing ball at the minute, and I'm happy with the progress. And I'm hearing Arsenal fans talking about last night. Obviously, City got knocked out the Carabao Cup. City fans will start saying, it's only the Carabao Cup, but they've been winning it every year, and it's all important to them. This year, for some strange reason, it's not that important. But we move anyway. But yeah, Arsenal fans talking about United have to win a trophy. My thing is this: I think to myself, I don't think we have to win a trophy this season. We're in a great position to win one, and it would ideally be fumbling the bag at this present moment in time on paper. But we all know that football is not played on paper, and we know fully that anything can happen. And this Newcastle team, they're doing well as well. So let's not pretend that it's going to be an easy feat to win a cup this season. But we're in a great position. And I just think to myself, like I said, I'm not writing this season off. I'm not really happy with the Carabao Cup because, like I said, we've got World Cup winners in our team. We've got players that have won numerous trophies at our club, maybe not for a few years. We've got players that have came in that have won Champions League on numerous occasions. There's players that have been there, like Varane that's won Champions League. De Gea's won a league. There's a lot of experienced players in there. There's a lot of new hungry players in there. There's a lot of elite players in our squad that can get this over the line. And for me, I feel like the next 2 weeks is the most important 2 weeks of our season, because if we manage to turn over Man City and then we turn over Arsenal, I mean, everyone will have their take on it. Everyone will say, yeah, no, maybe can't do this, can't do that. But if it does happen, and if we get even 4 points out of this, and we don't have to play Man City or Arsenal again, they have to play each other twice, we're in a good position, to do the unthinkable. It's not unthinkable to me anyway, but it's the unthinkable, because, I mean, at the start of the season, people have been happy with a trophy, whatnot. I just think that Ten Hag has came in, he hasn't needed time. He's looked at the squad, because he said, you have to remember, right, if you take this back to Ralph Rangnick, when Ralph Rangnick assessed the squad, he said it needs open heart surgery, but he said it's not going to take 2 years. He said, you know what the problems are, you identify the problems and you fix them. That's what's happened. The problems have been identified, they've been fixed, and United are playing extremely good football. Some of the best football you'll see in this league in this season. And what I think now is that with City struggling to get results, they've been struggling for a little while. Don't get me wrong, I won't write them off, because you never know. They can get it together, they can go on a run. Liverpool's the same. They've just got Gakpo. I mean, United fans were anticipating the signing of Gakpo. Didn't really rate it, to be honest with you. I just feel like he's Marcus Rashford 2.0. But nevertheless, we're we're on course, man. We're on course. We're on course. But like, I think it's a season of starting 11s. Yeah, well, because Arsenal haven't got much depth. City don't have much depth. They've got more. Well, United have got a bit of depth, but nothing great. And at the end of the day, it's like who's gonna last the longest? Who's gonna be without the injuries? Who's gonna be able to get the consistency? And at the moment, it's looking like United are in the frame. And I honestly think, right, that I honestly think that if we do manage to get 4 points out of 6 against these two, then I feel like we are the team to beat. I feel like we are. I don't want to say the title charge, because you know what, everyone will start laughing and say, I don't really care, to be honest with you. But I do think that the title is there for the taking. I feel like anyone amongst the top 4, including Spurs, because Spurs are not exact. They're not out of it yet. Anything their fortunes could change on the weekend. But like I said, I mean, there's a lot of games to be played anyway. But I don't want to hear this United are not in a title race, because, to be honest with you, like our starting 11 and a couple of the subs that we have would suggest otherwise. We wouldn't be where we are after losing 2 games at the start of the season. Everyone thought we was going to lose to this person and lose to that one, and we didn't do anything. I mean, a lot of people are in denial. I mean, I spoke to a couple of the City boys. They're not confident. But I did say, I mean, if you look at the situation with the like I said, going back to the situations with Ten Hag, Ralph Rangnick said that it's not going to take 2 years for it to sort out. Eve came in and he turned around and he said he admires Liverpool, admires Man City, but all eras come to an end. He also, in a Sky Sports interview, he also swore and said these boys can fucking play football. So he's obviously seen that these lot can play football. He can get a tune out of any and anyone because I mean, even the other day, he was brave. The other day, he played the most hated back line in English football, that being Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof and Shaw, and 3-0 clean sheet. You can't knock the guy, man. You can't knock the guy what he's doing, and he's doing it prematurely. So that's the problem, because he's doing it prematurely. People think that it's a purple patch, but I don't think it is. I think this guy's really got a grips on this squad, and he's seen the quality in the squad. He's getting the best out of the squad, and there's a lot of good players in that squad. It's just been poor management, poor situation. But now this is the thing that we have to be careful as United fans, is that if we have a great season this season, I mean, like, for instance, say we win a league, or we win a Europa League and a league, or we win a few trophies, this could prolong the Glazers' stay, because the Glazers will think to themselves, well, we've got a good squad here. We don't really need to have much reinvestment in it. We can trim the squad down. We can get rid of a few players, and we could give them a budget to buy a couple of players to add to the squad that's already got a lot of quality in it already. That's the only problem that I have with this season. But the trophies are there to be had. Ten Hag's there to do his job, and he's doing an exceptional job. And yeah, we're all behind the team. We're all behind the squad. The João Felix thing, I know a lot of fans were unhappy with the João Felix, the same way with the Gakpo situation. But the João Felix situation is this: I'm glad that we've come away from taking those deals, those silly deals, where it's as if the clubs are just looking at us thinking, yeah, we'll just take the piss out of you we'll just take your money off you. Because I mean, a season or two ago, we probably would have had João Felix now. We probably would have paid the 20 odd million with all the 19 million, the 11 million and the wages to get him over here. And I just don't believe that. I'm glad that we've come away from that now, because João Felix only looked at the situation. I mean, for me, it's honestly, looking at the situation right now, if I was João Felix, I'd be looking at it and I'd be saying, Arsenal's my best bet here, because Arsenal top of the league. I can slot in there nicely. And Eddie Nketiah, could I get in? Don't get me twisted. I'm not slating Eddie Nketiah either, because he's a good player. He's very underpraised, and he's very underappreciated at Arsenal. But could Felix get in there? Yeah, he could. I mean, there's competition for spaces, and there's spaces there, because if you look at their bench, they've got no one. For me, that would be the most attractive option. Secondly, I'd be looking at United thinking, all right, you've got Rashford on fire, you've got Anthony, you've got Garnacho, you've got even Pellistri's coming to the frame, to the mix now. you've got Elanga. I could end up on the bench here. Sancho coming back, I could end up on the bench here. I think Chelsea, for him going to Chelsea, is they're 10th in the league. I mean, I'm not going to write them for top 4 yet, but they're 10th in the league. Injury crisis. The manager, it's early days for the manager, so I'm not going to say that the manager's been poor, because he hasn't. Because I'm waiting. I said I'd give him 10 games to turn this around, because I mean, he was flying when he first came in, when he had a full squad. So let's see what happens when he gets a full squad back. But I mean, looking at Chelsea right now, it's like I can get games here. I can start every game. The attack is not great. Havertz, Aubameyang, Sterling, they're not doing very well. I can really have an opportunity to ball out here and just have fun for 6 months, because what from the talk I'm hearing in La Liga is that Simeone is finished with Atletico at the end of the season. So it maybe, for me personally, it'd be a thing with no option to buy as well. It's a thing like, okay, go there for 6 months. By the time you get back here, there's no Simeone. You just extended your deal for another year, so we're going to build the team around you. I mean, that's the focus here. You're going to be the main man. But the new manager's going to be aware of that. The new manager's going to be given instructions to build the team around you, which makes sense. So for me, I'm glad we didn't put ourselves in that situation. I mean, I've heard a few sniggers from Wout Weghorst or Wout Weghorst or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, we need a 9 for backup. Obviously, Martial, injury prone, can't really rely on him. It is a bit hit and miss. But Wout Weghorst coming in, for me, like I said, if that's who Eth wants, he hasn't got it wrong this season, any of his transfers. I mean, Malacia might be a bit slow off the pace, but he's not terrible. He's not a terrible guy. But yeah, like I said, he's not got it wrong this season. Yeah, I mean, I'm backing fully. I mean, like you said, I think he got the most presses per 90, and that's what Ten Hag wants. Ten Hag wants someone to press from the front and do all the things he's asked to do. And he's seen it in. I mean, to be honest with you, he got a couple of goals against Argentina, so he can score goals. He's good with his head. He's easy to pick out because he's a 6'6". I mean, I'm here for it. Like, this could be, you know what it's given me? Shall I be totally honest with you? It's given me the whole situation where, I don't know if they're going to give him number 7, but do you remember when Owen came in and everyone was like, oh, Owen, Lex Liverpool, he's past his best, what's Fergie doing, blah, 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 blah. And obviously, Derby coming up, subbed on, gets the winner. I'm getting them vibes right now. Like, I'm getting it. I don't know what you lot are doing, but I'm getting the vibes right now. So, I mean, yeah, I just think that I feel that United are doing well, and Arsenal fans are not going to pull the wool over our eyes and talk about, we should be winning a title. I'm sorry, we should be winning a trophy this season if we don't win a trophy. No, there's a flip side to that coin, because if Ten Hag manages to deliver a major trophy this season, i.e. a Europa League or a league, Arteta should be sacked with immediate effect, because all this, what he's done, is a facade. He's just gone to lift the fans. You know, he's basically his whole job he's got the fans on side. He hasn't delivered a thing. He spent 400 million. Yeah, he's had 3 years to assemble a title challenge up until 17 games. Like I said, I've seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer do this. Been level on points with a game in hand after 17 games. So, like I said, my manager is just going about his business, getting the jobs done, and it's working for him. I don't want to hear no fans talk about, even fans talking about our City last night through the game. So I've been in this position myself. Yeah, I've been in this position myself where United were winning everything. Yeah. Don't worry. But listen, like I said, them times come to an end. Yeah, and things have to change. And I feel like maybe the Man City squad going through a little bit of a phase right now. Might be the end of certain players there. Certain players might have checked out. But I feel like Man City are vulnerable. Liverpool are vulnerable right now. And people are talking about it's going to take this to catch us. Another thing that I'm not impressed about is this whole Harry Kane saga. People are talking about, if we want to catch Man City, we have to get Harry Kane. We don't have to do anything like that, because unfortunately, right, the onus is not upon Manchester United for because everyone in England is in love with this happy ending for Harry Kane. Harry Kane signed a 6-year deal to play for Spurs for 6 years. Daniel Levy don't want to let him leave. He's under contract. That's his business. It's not, the onus is not upon Manchester United to make this happen or for us to, because what will happen is that Kane will come. He might not. He might struggle, and next thing you know, Man United are ruined Kane, or Man United not doing so well. If Eve wants him to come, then that's fine. But right now, I just think it's a fairy tale thing where people think, oh, Harry Kane deserves trophies, so many goals, because he scored 300 plus goals, and not one of them means shit to anybody. And that's not for Man United to fix. That's for Harry Kane to fix. So at the end of the day, what he should have done, he should have left Spurs years ago. And I just think if Eve wants him, that's fine. But if I don't feel like anyone should be giving Eve any pointers or telling Eve what he needs to do and what he doesn't need to do, because he's doing the right stuff right now, and that's how I feel. So, like I said, we're into the semis. I expect us to get to the final. Like I said, a big 2 weeks for United, but I think we come through it. I think we get a minimum of 4 points out of these two games, or these three. Well, we've got 3 games. We've got Palace in the middle, but I expect 3 points off of Palace. I expect 3 points and a draw either way, Arsenal or Man City. And after that, serious conversations need to be had about who's going to win the league. Who's in it? Who's actually in it? Who's actually can get this over the line? Who's got the bits of... Because, I mean, for instance, like, this whole thing with... I don't know about this Mudryk situation, but they're talking about Mudryk, but even when you look at Arsenal's bench right now, even if you add Mudryk to that bench, you've got Mudryk and Fabio Vieira, senior players, El Nene. Is it a title-winning team? Is it enough to get you over the line? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. But for me personally, if I was Arsenal, I wouldn't complain about paying any money, because we've all been there. We've all overpaid for players that we need. If I'm Shakhtar, I'm looking at their bench and I'm saying, yeah, you lot are not getting a pound off of this deal, because you lot need this guy. You have got if this is your best opportunity to win a Premier League that you've seen in the last 20 years, and if you don't think you want to pay the premium for it, then we don't care, because we don't have to sell him, and I'd make them right too. So if I was Arsenal, I wouldn't say break the bank. They know that, you know the deal here. Anthony we paid 80 mil for, Jack Grealish 100 mil. You know the deal here. You're not you paid 70 for Pepe. He's on loan right now. You know the deal here. Pay the money, get your guy, and move forward. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here now. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, man. If you like the video, like the video. I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos. Obviously, I've been slacking off, but I've had some health problems, but I'm back now. And yeah, I mean, the next video should be the lineup, which is I've got 2 special guests coming on there on the 17th, so that video will be out. But stay tuned for more content, and next show I've got a giveaway. But yeah, for now, take care, boys and girls.